So this is my 1998 Chevy that is straight swap that I've been telling you guys about. This is the one that I've built the 6.2 for. I got it tore apart right now to put this motor in, but you'll get a gist of it. As you can see, it's on a Dana 60 front. It's a 1978 Ford Kingpin high pinion axle. The rear is a GM 14 bolt. It's like a Dana 60 equivalent. It's been painted some, everything but the doors and the fenders, but after I get all this squared away and make sure it's all gonna be reliable, then I'll be getting it repainted and probably pulling the suspension off of it to get all of it powder coated. But I got a cow hood for it. It's all color matched. I've had the truck since I was 16. I'm 22 now. But it's got 513 gears, 26 by 14 TIS wheels with some 37-inch Gladiators. Sitting on about 10 or 12 inches of lift. It's hard to tell. I pulled the kit off of another truck and installed it on here. I'll be ordering new headlights and everything like that for it as well once I get it running again. I've been pressure washing it. Here is the 6.2 that I put together. I got the headers and the VVT delete kit on it and the valve covers on. Come out pretty good. I got everything painted black to match. It's a 2007 L92 block. Truck Norris cam, new push rods, new valve springs, lifters. I put LS7 lifters with some new trays in it. This LSX acceleration brand. This is what I used for head gaskets and this VVT delete kit. It came with a new timing chain, this cover, new seal, new bolt, and new sprocket. This is the transmission that I'll be using. I'm gonna be cleaning it up here after a while. It's a 2000 480E. It's got 80,000 miles on it. It's got a PTO off the transfer case that I'll be using, but probably won't be using the PTO part, but at least I'll have it for some reason if I ever do need it. If I need to have it for whatever reason, I highly doubt it though. But yeah, I put the Bilstein shocks on the front. It's a Skies Off-Road kit for the dual shock hoops up front. 513 gears in it. Disc brake conversion in the rear. Disc brakes in the front. It's rust free. I had all the rust fixed whenever I got it. It had a 305. This is the engine that was in it. This one was actually a Jasper rebuilt, but I'm selling it. I don't need it no more. I don't really want a 305 for any reason. So it had a 4L60 factory too, which I'm getting rid of it, but this is my truck harness that I am using to run the gauges and everything like that. As you can see, I got the stuff labeled and unpinned and unloomed back, and I trimmed out a bunch of wires wherever they went. Here's all the wires that I unpinned and pulled out of it. It's just stuff for that spider injection and all this stuff like for like the cool and things like that you wouldn't need on the LS to make your gauges work. But yeah, I'll be using ICT billet brackets for motor mounts with the small block clamshells. And I got all this new furniture over here. This CNC machine stuff to hold up my alternator and power steering pump. Then I got one for the AC. I'll be running the R4 AC on it with that conversion block, but it's slowly coming along. Hopefully I already pressure washed everything inside the engine bay. I'll be painting everything in it for the rest of the day, I'm sure. I got a gallon of that Pour 15. If you guys never used it, it works amazing. I used it on a frame for my square body. And I didn't take the time to sand it completely down, but I pressure washed it really good. I cleaned it. I took wire wheel over a lot of stuff. I mean, it wasn't perfectly smooth, but the way that Port 15 lays down, I put it through like what you would use to spray bed liner because the stuff's so thick, but the way it goes down, it covers up a lot of the flaws, and it came out really, really well. I know it's a little pricey, but it's very, very well worth it. I would just go ahead and do it because it's like I painted this frame with Rust-Oleum a few years ago when I did the straight axle swap, and it'll pressure wash off now. And I prepped the surface and everything really well on it, but it just don't hold up like that Port 15 does. It's almost like a bed liner, but it's not. It's really good stuff. It's not a rubbery texture. It's like an actual paint, but it's got the texture as far as the grittiness of a bed liner. But I'll be using that. I'll be rolling it on and using the paintbrush behind my power steering pump and tight spots like that on with it. And I'm waiting on my engine harness to be in the mail. I ordered a PSI conversion kit, 4th gen. I know I don't have a 4th gen transmission, but it'll, I guess Gen 4 is the way to put it so I don't confuse anybody. A Gen 4 harness. Since I have a Gen 4 motor and ECM, even though my transmission is not a Gen 4, because the Gen 4 has a TCM outside the transmission, the Gen 3s have it inside of the transmission. So it'll still work. You still have to plug in the TCM and things like that, but I just wanted to show y'all an overview of the truck that I was working on and let y'all be along for the process. Maybe this will get some people some help. I will explain things more as I'm doing it. I don't want to, I know there's nothing for me to show right now because I don't have anything in, but I would love to show something on the harness if this one works out as good as I think it's gonna. I've never done one for this year of truck. I've only done it for a newer year truck. And so I just wanted to try it out before I put a video out and it not work. But if it works out, maybe I'll do another one and explain on what I did. And I want to show y'all everything of fitting inside the truck so that it can be shown that obviously I spent a little bit more money than what I had to get this engine the way it is and all the stuff to work. But I was doing it for the aesthetic view of it, just for looks at a car show. You know, I didn't have to buy this $500 intake or the $150 valve covers or fancy headers or nothing like that. But, you know, if somebody wanted to put a bone stock 5.3 or even just a 5.3 or 6.0 or 4.8 with a cam inside this thing, you know, you could do it for $1,500. And, you know, that could be the price of a tune depending on how much your tuners cost. But even if a bone stock, you know, if you had somebody delete your VATs for $75, like you can a lot of times, you ship your computer off to them and they'll ship it back. You could have a bone stock 5.3 or 4.8 or 6.0 in this thing for little to nothing, depending on what motor you win. You know, you can find a 5.3 with 150,000, 180,000 miles for $500 or $600 around where I'm at, and you know, buy some eBay motor mounts for, you know, $50 and throw it in here and it'd be nothing. Get you a cheap eBay harness. And eBay harnesses, I know people bash on them, but if you know what you're doing, you know how to track down wiring. If they do have an issue, they're usually pretty easy to fix. But I just want to show you all the process so that maybe it'll give maybe somebody else inspiration, and I want to be there to ask questions. I know that not a lot of people do answer questions and cover every aspect of it because maybe they have a lot more viewers than me or a lot more going on or whatever, but I want to try to be there for that. I'll be taking my brake booster out, running a hydro setup off of a newer Suburban so that it helps with my steering on my bigger wheels and tires, and then I know that the cam won't ever push to the brakes. I know a truck nor should never have, but with, you know, every time you do a swap, you put in a different motor and cam inside a different truck. It doesn't really account for it if the cam says so. So it's just safe for me, and I think the hydro setup would be better anyways. And if y'all want a video on that, I don't care to do it. I know there's even a simpler way just to take the master cylinder off, and you can put a 99 to 06 bolts right up, and it's supposed to get that little bit of squishy pedal out for you. So I can show you guys that too. But I'll have another video out. Ask questions if you want. If you want a parts list on what I got, I can put it out too. My Instagram, is obs.christian if you'd like to go look. My TikTok is the same thing. Shoot me a DM. I don't care to answer, and people ask me stuff all the time about this truck, so just let me know if you have any questions.